Welcome to This Morning on Asakhe podcast, your daily dose of insightful conversation on current affairs, politics, and social issues. Please share and also follow us on social media at SiteZW. Now, stay tuned to today's episode.
A very good morning to you guys. Welcome to This Morning on Asakhe. My name is Brighton. It's lovely to be back again to give another dose of current affairs and everything happening in terms of our politics. Today on the show, I want to look at the issues of MPs and councillors. Spoke about that yesterday to say, do you know your MP? Do you ever heard from your councillor or MP? But today I want to understand more again to say, do people know the roles of an MP? Do people know the roles of a councillor? I know many of you have been saying, councillor Wami doesn't come to attend this and that, doesn't come to attend our funerals and so on. I see I've been joined by Umalume SG there, coming from Zapo. Zapo SG, good morning to you.
Good morning, Brighton. Brighton, I think many a times the councillors and the MP, they know and they understand their roles to an extent, but the voter does not understand mainly the role of the councillor and the MP. And the MP has had, and the councillor has had to adjust and adapt themselves and their conduct in doing their job and also balancing the expectations of the electorate. Because remember, you only become a councillor and an MP not based on your understanding of your role, but based on a popularity contest, which is called an election, where people really don't care about what you really need to stand for, but they just vote for you based on what they think in their heads. And this has been deliberately created by the state of our country and the state of affairs in our country. For instance, the country has a lot of problems because of government failure and incompetence. Now, as a result, people expect food in rural areas. So if you can give them food aid, automatically you earn the right to lead them. The government is failing to develop infrastructure. The moment you promise people, you drill a ball here and there, put Wi-Fi for them in Country Park or create a road, you then catch the attention of the people as a potential leader. Maun councillor, you look at every funeral, there is a slot of councillor as part of the speakers. This is what the people expect. So if then you go to them campaigning and telling them that you will represent them, you'll provide oversight and stuff like that, they don't believe you, they do not want you. They want somebody who will promise them spaghetti roads. They want somebody who will tell them, I'll give you cabbages for funerals. And that is where we have a problem. As a result, the quality of people that we send to Parliament and Council is appalling, because it's people that we want to see coming to our funerals. There's people that we should be rich to an extent, because they should be using their money to develop the community and to be giving people scholarships and solving our personal problems. And this is because of the state of affairs in our country. Thank you, Brighton.
Well, thanks so much, SG from Zapo. They're quite interesting what you're raising there. To say the MPs and councillors know their roles. However, the electorate sometimes don't understand the roles that the MPs and councillors are supposed to play. But however, they demand A, B, C, and D. But also, I think we've created our own roles as the voters, and there are other roles that are part of the Electoral Act, right? Let's move on to our next speaker there. Good morning to you, Posalani.
Good morning, Brighton. I hope everything's okay. I don't think that our citizens know the exact roles of our councillors and our MPs. And as a result, we have failed, not all of us, but majority of us, to hold them accountable. Because only when you know someone's role and responsibility, and even when you're going to vote for them, you have to be aware of what are you voting for, right? And remember, even before the elections, there's always manifestos. Each one of them will come through and give their promises, their pledges, and everything. And you have to also then, if you're aware of what they're supposed to do, what the job entails, are supposed to look at those pledges that they're saying and look them according to the job that they want to take over. right? And we don't seem to be putting those two together. It ends up being an issue of is he supporting my favorite political party? Has he been given approval by my favorite leader? It ends up being a contestation of and of you support me, I support you, or that's where it is. And this is the problem we have there, because when you vote for someone based on the party that they're in, you're losing sight, because remember, a party as an entity has got its own job, its own role, right? The aim of it is to possibly become the next government and so forth. So they've got broader ambitions. Now, in the political party, that's why you have those councillors, because they are in the local government and they'll be representing you from that area. Then you've got your members of parliament who represent you in parliament. So it's like we've got this whole hierarchical structure. And people seem to not realize that it all works together. Although the functions can be separated. And the reason why they're supposed to be separated, Brighton, is so that they can work effectively. So I am there for now, Brighton, but thank you so much for the discussion.
Well, thanks so much, Papa Salan, for that. Quite interesting what you are raising there. Let's wrap up our show this morning with KK.
Thank you, Breton, and I appreciate the platform. I think this has been an issue in Zimbabwe for quite some time, but I also believe it's also symptomatic of a larger problem in that these institutions, the parliament itself, the council itself, I don't think they have been given enough space to solve people's problems. So much that I think, over time, people know they get to elect an MP, they get to elect a councillor, and not much change in their communities. And obviously, over time, people really do lose interest because there's no real interfacing these issues or engaging these issues from these particular bodies. The MPs, they don't even feel the need to come report back to community. That feedback loop is not there. So there's a disconnect in terms of these bodies, and I think that's symptomatic of a larger problem. If we really go back to understanding what the particular bodies themselves are supposed to do and whether they are working to solve those issues is a serious issue. I hope one day we get to talk about that. We got to get to also hold spaces about that, because I don't think Parliament is very relevant to the people's issues. They are more beholden to political parties than they are to the constituencies that they purport to serve. The same as council, without real issues of empowering our local communities, our local authorities through a proper process of devolving power, they will remain mute, they will remain irrelevant, and therefore the active parliamentarians, councillors that you see in the communities are people who are attempting to tackle problems in their communities from a very personal perspective. If you can, put up a road, you can, if you can do this and that and the other. So without actually really using the institutions to which they've been voted to represent us on. There are key issues that have been negated or that have been neglected for some time, including the parliamentary role of oversight, legislation. You get up an issue in the community, you gang up with other parliamentarians to legislate certain things that solve community issues common issues where you're coming from. Thank you very much, Brighton.
Well, thanks so much for that, KK. Quite interesting what you're raising there. Revisitation of knowing the roles of a councillor and also the roles of an MP there. And also people knowing these roles in terms of before they cast their vote. Yeah, guys, we've come to the end of the show for this morning. Anyway, from myself, Brighton, it's been lovely hanging out with you this morning. It's bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode. For feedback, you can contact us on 263 777 470017. Don't forget to follow and like our social media pages.